Ever feel like you're juggling too many goals, always dropping the ball somewhere? The audiobook, The Simple Art of Juggling Goals, Leveraging Systems Archetypes to Achieve Competing Objectives, is your guide to mastering the art of balancing competing priorities. Discover powerful systems thinking strategies that will transform how you approach personal growth. Learn to harmonize your goals, achieve sustainable success across all life areas, and unlock your full potential. Don't let overwhelm hold you back. It's time to become the master juggler of your own life. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1, The Art of Juggling, Understanding Competing Priorities. Life is a grand juggling act. We all have multiple balls in the air: career aspirations, personal relationships, health goals, financial objectives, and countless other pursuits vying for our attention. Each of these represents a vital aspect of our lives, demanding time, energy, and focus. Yet, as we reach for one, another seems to slip from our grasp. This constant struggle to keep all our goals aloft is the essence of what we call competing priorities. Imagine standing in the center of a room surrounded by different doors. Each door represents a different life goal: your dream job, a loving relationship, optimal health, financial security, personal growth, and more. As you reach for one doorknob, you feel the pull of the others. This is the reality of modern life, where we're constantly torn between multiple objectives, each equally important in its own right. The challenge lies not in choosing one door over the others, but in finding a way to open them all, to step through each threshold and explore the opportunities that lie beyond. This is where the art of juggling goals comes into play. It's not about keeping all the balls in the air perfectly at all times, but rather about understanding the rhythm of when to catch, when to throw, and when to let a ball momentarily drop while you focus on another. But how do we master this intricate dance? How do we navigate the complex web of our ambitions without becoming entangled? The answer lies in adopting a systems thinking approach to our personal development. Systems thinking is a holistic approach that focuses on how the constituent parts of a system interrelate and how systems work over time and within the context of larger systems. In the realm of personal development, it offers us a powerful lens through which to view our competing priorities. Instead of seeing our goals as isolated pursuits, we begin to understand them as interconnected elements of a larger whole, our life. This book introduces you to 7 key systems thinking archetypes that will revolutionize the way you approach your personal and professional development. These archetypes are not just theoretical concepts, but practical tools that you can apply to understand and manage the complex dynamics of your competing priorities. 1. Competing goals. This archetype helps us understand how different life goals often clash, competing for our limited resources of time, energy, and attention. 2. Success to the successful. This pattern reveals how initial success in one area can lead to a self-reinforcing cycle that dominates our focus and resources, often at the expense of other important areas in our lives. 3. Attractiveness of alternative. This archetype explores how the allure of new opportunities can distract us from our current path, potentially derailing our progress towards existing goals. 4. Tragedy of the commons. This pattern shows how overcommitment to a single goal can deplete the shared resources needed for overall success. 5. Escalation. This archetype reveals how competition between different goals can spiral out of control, leading to stress and diminishing returns. 6. Path dependence. This pattern helps us understand how past decisions continue to shape our current priorities, making it challenging to change course even when necessary. 7. Balancing process with delay. This archetype teaches us to navigate the frustrations of slow progress and delayed gratification, maintaining strategic balance during periods when results aren't immediately visible. By understanding these archetypes, you'll gain invaluable insights into the dynamics of your competing priorities. You'll learn to identify patterns in your own life, anticipate challenges before they arise, and develop strategies to maintain balance and progress across all your goals. The first time you go through this book, you should be able to gain a clear understanding of these 7 archetypes and how they apply to your life. You'll learn to identify and map out your own competing goals, gaining clarity on where conflicts and synergies exist in your personal and professional life. Over time, as you continue to apply these principles, you'll develop a sustainable strategy for balancing multiple goals. You'll find yourself achieving a harmonious integration of your personal and professional objectives, no longer feeling torn between different aspects of your life, but instead seeing them as complementary parts of a greater whole. This journey you're about to embark on is not a quick fix or a one-time solution. It's a new way of thinking, a new approach to personal growth that will continue to yield benefits long after you've finished reading. As you internalize these concepts and make them a part of your daily life, you'll find that managing competing priorities becomes second nature. You'll develop an intuitive understanding of how to allocate your time and energy for maximum effect, how to pivot when necessary without losing sight of your long-term vision, and how to maintain balance even in the face of unexpected challenges. This is the art of juggling goals, a skill that, once mastered, will transform every aspect of your life. It's about more than just achieving individual objectives. It's about creating a life that is rich, balanced, and fulfilling on every level. As you turn the page to the next chapter, prepare to delve deeper into the intricacies of competing goals and discover how they shape the landscape of your personal growth journey. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2: Competing Goals. Life is a tapestry of desires, ambitions, and responsibilities. Each thread represents a goal, a dream, or an obligation that we hold dear. But what happens when these threads begin to tangle, when the pursuit of one goal seems to unravel another? This is the essence of competing goals, a concept that lies at the heart of personal development and life management. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. Each path before you leads to a different destination, each one promising its own unique rewards. The path to career success beckons with the allure of achievement and financial stability. Another trail winds towards personal relationships, offering the warmth of connection and love. Yet another route promises adventure and personal growth through travel and new experiences. As you gaze down each path, you feel a pull towards all of them. This is the reality of competing goals. But why is understanding this concept so crucial for our personal growth journey? The answer lies in the very nature of human ambition and the finite resources we have at our disposal. Time, energy, and attention are the currencies of our lives, and like any currency, they are limited. When we fail to recognize how our various goals compete for these resources, we risk spreading ourselves too thin, making little progress in any direction. Consider Sarah, a young professional with dreams of climbing the corporate ladder. She's determined to prove herself at work, often staying late at the office and taking on extra projects. But Sarah also values her health and has set a goal to exercise regularly and eat well. As the demands of her job increase, she finds herself skipping workouts and grabbing fast food on the go. Her career goal is undermining her health goal, creating a conflict that leaves her feeling frustrated and guilty. This scenario illustrates a fundamental truth about competing goals. They often undermine each other when not aligned or balanced. Sarah's situation is not unique. Many of us find ourselves in similar predicaments, where the pursuit of one objective seems to come at the cost of another. It's a delicate dance, one that requires awareness, strategy, and sometimes difficult choices. The key to navigating this complex landscape lies in recognizing that trade-offs are not just inevitable, they're a crucial part of the growth process. Every decision we make, every priority we set, involves a trade-off. When we choose to focus on one goal, we are, by default, choosing not to focus on others at that moment. This might sound discouraging at first, but understanding this reality is actually empowering. It allows us to make conscious, informed decisions about how we allocate our precious resources. So how do we begin to untangle this web of competing priorities? The first step is identification. We need to clearly map out our goals, bringing them from the realm of vague desires into sharp focus. This process of identification can be eye-opening. Often we carry goals within us that we haven't fully articulated, even to ourselves. By bringing them to light, we can start to see where conflicts and synergies exist. Try this exercise. Take a piece of paper and draw a circle in the center. This circle represents you. Now draw lines radiating out from this circle, like spokes on a wheel. At the end of each line, write down a goal or priority in your life. Don't censor yourself. Include everything from career ambitions to personal hobbies, from relationship goals to financial objectives. This visual representation is your goals map, a powerful tool for understanding the competing forces in your life. As you look at your goals map, you might start to notice patterns. Some goals might naturally complement each other, while others seem to pull in opposite directions. This is where the real work begins, evaluating these trade-offs and deciding which goals take precedence at different times. But how do we make these decisions? How do we choose which goal to prioritize when they all seem important? This is where the concept of importance and urgency comes into play. Not all goals are created equal, and not all require the same level of immediate attention. Some goals are important but not urgent, while others might be urgent but not particularly important in the grand scheme of things. Imagine your goals as a garden. Some plants need daily watering and constant care, while others can thrive with less frequent attention. Your job is to be the gardener, understanding the needs of each plant and allocating your resources accordingly. Sometimes you might need to focus intensively on one area, knowing that others can withstand a temporary lack of attention. This balancing act requires practice and patience. It's a skill that develops over time, honed through experience and reflection. One effective way to develop this skill is through decision-making scenarios. Try this. Create a list of hypothetical situations where your goals might come into conflict. For example, you're offered a promotion that requires relocating, but it would mean leaving behind a community you love and disrupting your partner's career. How would you navigate this situation? What factors would you consider? By working through these scenarios, you can start to develop a framework for making decisions when goals compete in real life. As you become more adept at recognizing and navigating your competing goals, you'll start to see changes in how you approach your personal development. At first, you might simply become better at recognizing where priorities clash, allowing you to make more informed decisions. This alone is a significant step forward. Instead of feeling constantly torn between different objectives, you'll have a clearer understanding of why you're choosing to focus on certain areas at certain times. With practice, you can move towards creating a truly balanced approach to your goals. This doesn't mean giving equal time and energy to every goal every day. Rather, it means allocating your resources based on a deep understanding of what's most important and urgent in your life at any given time. You might find yourself focusing intensively on a career goal for a period, knowing that you'll shift your attention to personal relationships or health goals once you've reached a certain milestone. The ultimate aim, the best possible outcome of this process, is to achieve a state of harmony among your competing goals. This doesn't mean eliminating competition entirely. That's neither possible nor desirable. Instead, it means creating a system where your various goals support and enhance each other, leading to sustained growth across all areas of your life. Imagine a life where your career success fuels your personal growth, where your health goals support your professional ambitions, where your relationships enrich every aspect of your existence. This is the potential of truly understanding and managing competing goals. It's not about choosing one path at the crossroads, but about forging a new path that incorporates elements of all the directions you want to explore. Of course, this journey is not without its challenges. One of the most common pitfalls is failing to recognize all of your competing goals. It's easy to focus on the most obvious or pressing objectives while overlooking others that might be equally important in the long run. This is why regular review and updating of your goals map is crucial. Life is dynamic, and your goals will evolve over time. What seemed paramount a year ago might have shifted in priority. New goals may have emerged, while others have been achieved or discarded. Set aside time periodically, perhaps quarterly or biannually, to revisit your goals map. Are all your current priorities represented? Have new goals emerged that need to be added? Are there goals that no longer resonate with you? This regular check-in ensures that your map remains an accurate representation of your life's competing priorities. As we conclude this exploration of competing goals, it's important to remember that this is not about achieving perfection. Life will always involve some level of conflict between our various ambitions and responsibilities. The art lies in navigating these conflicts with awareness, intention, and flexibility. You've taken the first steps on a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. You've learned to identify your competing goals, to evaluate trade-offs, and to make informed decisions about where to focus your energy. But this is just the beginning. As you move forward, you'll encounter new challenges and opportunities in managing your competing priorities. In the next chapter, we'll delve into a fascinating phenomenon that often arises when we start to achieve success in certain areas of our lives. It's a pattern that can dramatically impact how we allocate our resources and attention, sometimes leading to unexpected imbalances. Are you ready to explore how success itself can become a competing force in your goal juggling act? Chapter 3: Success to the Successful. Success is a seductive force. It draws us in with its siren song of achievement, recognition, and fulfillment. When we taste success in any area of our lives, it's natural to want more. We chase that feeling, that rush of accomplishment, often without realizing the subtle shifts occurring in our priorities and focus. This chapter delves into a fascinating phenomenon that can significantly impact our journey of personal growth and goal achievement. Imagine you're tending a garden with various plants, each representing a different aspect of your life: career, relationships, health, personal interests. One day, you notice that a particular plant is thriving, its flowers blooming brilliantly. Excited by this success, you start giving this plant extra attention, more water, more fertilizer. It grows even more vigorously, its blossoms more spectacular than ever. But as you focus on this flourishing plant, you might not immediately notice the others starting to wilt from lack of attention. This scenario illustrates the core concept we're exploring in this chapter, a pattern where initial success in one area can lead to a self-reinforcing cycle that dominates our focus and resources, often at the expense of other important areas in our lives. It's a pattern that can sneak up on us, gradually reshaping our priorities without our conscious awareness. But why is understanding this pattern so crucial for managing our competing goals? The answer lies in the delicate balance required for holistic personal growth. While it's natural and often beneficial to build on our successes, unchecked momentum in one area can lead to significant imbalances in our overall development. By recognizing and managing this tendency, we can prevent success in one domain from overshadowing other equally important aspects of our lives. Let's consider the story of Alex, a software developer who had always dreamed of creating his own successful app. After years of hard work, his latest project started gaining traction. Users were flooding in, positive reviews were piling up, and investors were showing interest. Thrilled by this success, Alex poured more and more time into the app, working late into the night and through weekends. His dedication paid off. The app's success continued to grow, bringing financial rewards and professional recognition. However, as Alex's app flourished, other areas of his life began to suffer. His relationships with friends and family became strained due to his constant work. His health declined as he neglected exercise and proper nutrition. His other interests and hobbies fell by the wayside. Alex had fallen into the successful trap. His initial success in one area had led to a cycle of increasing focus and resource allocation to that area, at the expense of other important life goals. This pattern isn't limited to career success. It can manifest in any area of our lives. A fitness enthusiast might become so engrossed in their physical achievements that they neglect their intellectual growth. A parent might become so focused on their children's success that they lose sight of their own personal goals and identity. The theory behind this pattern is simple yet profound. Success breeds more success, but often at the expense of other areas. When we succeed in something, several factors come into play. First, we naturally want to continue that success, so we allocate more time and energy to it. Second, success often brings external rewards and recognition, further motivating us to focus on that area. Third, as we become more skilled and accomplished in a particular domain, it becomes easier and more enjoyable to continue in that direction rather than struggle in areas where we're less proficient. While this self-reinforcing cycle can lead to remarkable achievements in specific areas, it can also create blind spots in our personal development. The key to managing this pattern lies in awareness and intentional action. We need to regularly step back and take a broader view of our lives, monitoring where our successes might be leading us to neglect other important goals. One practical way to do this is by conducting a success audit. Take some time to reflect on your recent achievements and the areas of your life where you're experiencing the most growth and satisfaction. Then, consider the flip side. Which areas have you been neglecting? Are there goals or aspects of your life that have fallen by the wayside as you've pursued success in other domains? For instance, if you've been experiencing great success in your career, ask yourself, how are my relationships doing? Am I taking care of my health? Am I still pursuing my personal interests and hobbies? This audit can help you identify areas of imbalance and guide you in reallocating your time and resources. Once you've identified areas that need attention, the next step is to intentionally allocate time and resources to these underdeveloped aspects of your life. This might feel challenging at first, especially if you're in the midst of a successful streak in another area. It requires discipline and a commitment to long-term, holistic growth. Setting boundaries can be a powerful tool in this process. For example, if you've identified that your work success is overshadowing your personal relationships, you might set a strict no work after 7 p.m. rule to ensure you have time for family and friends. Or, if you've been neglecting your health in pursuit of academic success, you might schedule non-negotiable workout times in your calendar. As you work to balance your successes across different life domains, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply managing to keep growing in multiple areas. This means you're able to continue your success in one domain while also making progress in others. You might not be advancing at the same rate in all areas, but you're moving forward on multiple fronts. An excellent outcome is achieving a balanced distribution of success. In this scenario, you're experiencing significant growth and achievement across various aspects of your life. Your career is thriving, but so are your relationships. You're meeting your health goals while also pursuing personal interests and contributing to your community. The best possible outcome is building what we might call a diversified portfolio of successes. This goes beyond balance to create synergy between different areas of your life. Your success in one domain actively contributes to your success in others. For instance, your improved health and fitness boost your productivity at work. Your strong relationships provide emotional support that fuels your personal growth. Your career success provides resources that allow you to pursue your passions and give back to your community. Of course, managing the success to the successful pattern isn't without its challenges. The most common pitfall is over-focusing on one area to the point where rebalancing becomes difficult. This can happen gradually, almost imperceptibly, until we find ourselves deeply entrenched in one domain of success while other areas of our lives have atrophied. The solution to this issue is to set regular check-ins to reassess your resource allocation. These check-ins serve as a compass, helping you navigate the complex terrain of personal growth and ensuring you stay on course for balanced development. They provide opportunities to celebrate your successes while also identifying areas that need more attention. Consider scheduling monthly or quarterly reviews where you assess your progress across all your important life goals. During these reviews, ask yourself, am I satisfied with my growth in each area? Are there domains where I'm consistently falling short? How can I reallocate my time and energy to address any imbalances? Remember, the goal isn't to achieve perfect balance at all times. Life is dynamic, and there will be periods when certain areas naturally require more focus. The key is to maintain awareness of these shifts and to course correct when necessary to prevent long-term imbalances. As we conclude this exploration of the success to the successful pattern, it's important to recognize that success itself is not the enemy. Success can be a powerful motivator and a source of fulfillment. The challenge lies in harnessing the positive momentum of success while avoiding the pitfall of tunnel vision. By understanding this pattern, conducting regular success audits, setting boundaries, and intentionally allocating resources across all important life domains, you can create a rich tapestry of success that encompasses all aspects of your personal growth. You can build on your achievements without sacrificing other crucial areas of your life. As you move forward, armed with this knowledge, you'll be better equipped to navigate the complex interplay of your various goals and successes. But there's another force at play in our journey of personal growth, one that can be just as powerful as the allure of success. It's a force that often emerges just when we think we've found our path. What happens when new opportunities arise, presenting alternatives to our current goals? How do we navigate the tension between staying the course and exploring new possibilities? The next chapter will dive into this intriguing dynamic, revealing a pattern that can either derail our progress or open doors to unexpected growth. Chapter 4: Attractiveness of Alternative. Life has a way of presenting us with unexpected twists and turns. Just when we think we've charted our course and set our sails, a new horizon appears, beckoning with promise and possibility. These moments of choice, when alternatives arise, can be both exhilarating and unsettling. They challenge our commitment to our current path and tempt us with visions of what could be. Imagine you're on a journey, following a map you've carefully drawn. You've planned your route, packed your supplies, and you're making steady progress towards your destination. Suddenly, you notice a side path, one that wasn't on your original map. It looks intriguing. Perhaps it's a shortcut, or maybe it leads to an even more exciting destination. Do you stick to your original route, or do you veer off to explore this new path? This scenario illustrates the core concept we're exploring in this chapter, the allure of alternative paths and how they impact our pursuit of goals. It's a phenomenon that can profoundly affect our journey of personal growth and achievement, often in ways we don't immediately recognize. But why is understanding this pattern so crucial for managing our competing goals? The answer lies in the delicate balance between focus and flexibility, between commitment to our chosen path and openness to new opportunities. While it's important to remain adaptable and open to new possibilities, constantly shifting our goals in response to every new alternative can lead to a lack of progress and a sense of aimlessness. Let's consider the story of Maya, a talented graphic designer who had been working towards establishing her own design studio. She had a clear vision, a solid business plan, and was making steady progress towards her goal. One day, a friend approached her with an exciting opportunity, a chance to join a tech startup as their lead designer. The offer was tempting: higher pay, stock options, and the thrill of being part of a potentially groundbreaking company. Maya found herself at a crossroads. Should she continue on her path of entrepreneurship, or should she seize this new opportunity? The startup role seemed more attractive in many ways. It offered immediate benefits and the excitement of a new challenge, but it would also mean putting her dream of owning her own studio on hold, perhaps indefinitely. This scenario illustrates a key aspect of the attractiveness of alternative pattern. New opportunities often seem more appealing than our current path, especially when we're in the midst of the hard work and challenges that come with pursuing long-term goals. The novelty and potential of a new path can be incredibly alluring, making our current goals seem less exciting in comparison. The theory behind this pattern is rooted in human psychology. We're naturally drawn to novelty and the potential for quick wins. New opportunities often present themselves in their best light, while we're acutely aware of the difficulties and limitations of our current path. This can create a skewed perception, where the grass always seems greener on the other side. Moreover, our brains are wired to seek variety and new experiences. This trait has evolutionary advantages. It encourages exploration and adaptation. However, in the context of long-term goal pursuit, it can also lead us astray, causing us to abandon promising paths prematurely in favor of seemingly more attractive alternatives. Understanding this pattern is crucial for maintaining focus on our long-term goals, especially in a world full of distractions and constantly emerging opportunities. It doesn't mean we should never consider alternatives or change our goals. Flexibility and adaptability are important. However, it does mean we need to be more intentional and critical in how we evaluate new opportunities. So, how do we navigate this challenge? The key lies in developing a systematic approach to evaluating new opportunities in the context of our long-term goals. This involves carefully assessing whether a new alternative truly aligns with our broader vision and values, or if it's simply an attractive distraction. One practical way to do this is by performing a thorough cost-benefit analysis of new opportunities. This goes beyond simply listing pros and cons. It involves deeply considering how a new opportunity might impact your current goals, both in the short and long term. What would you gain by pursuing this new path? What would you potentially lose or delay? How does it align with your core values and long-term vision? For instance, if Maya had conducted such an analysis, she might have realized that while the startup job offered immediate benefits, it would delay her progress towards her ultimate goal of owning her own studio. She might also have considered how working for the startup would impact her skill development, network building, and overall career trajectory compared to continuing on her current path. Another useful tool is developing a decision-making framework specifically designed to assess alignment with long-term goals. This framework might include questions like, does this opportunity bring me closer to my ultimate vision? Does it allow me to develop skills or resources that will be valuable for my long-term goals? Does it align with my core values and the lifestyle I want to create? By consistently applying such a framework, you can create a filter that helps you distinguish between opportunities that truly enhance your journey and those that might lead you astray. As you work on navigating the attractiveness of alternatives, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply remaining committed to your goals while integrating new opportunities without major disruption. This means you're able to stay focused on your long-term vision while still being open to new possibilities that align with that vision. An excellent outcome is learning to leverage new opportunities to enhance your existing goals. In this scenario, you're not just avoiding distractions, but actively using new alternatives to accelerate your progress. For example, Maya might have found a way to take on some part-time work with the startup, gaining valuable experience and connections that would ultimately benefit her own studio without fully abandoning her entrepreneurial path. The best possible outcome is achieving synergy between new opportunities and existing goals. This is where the magic happens, when you're able to integrate new paths in a way that creates a whole greater than the sum of its parts. It's about finding unexpected connections and creating a rich, multifaceted approach to achieving your vision. Of course, navigating the attractiveness of alternatives isn't without its challenges. The most common pitfall is frequently shifting goals, bouncing from one attractive opportunity to another without making significant progress in any direction. This can lead to a sense of frustration and lack of accomplishment, as well as a scattered skill set and reputation. The solution to this issue lies in strengthening your commitment to your long-term vision through regular reflection. This doesn't mean becoming rigid or closed off to new possibilities. Rather, it's about regularly reconnecting with your core values and ultimate goals, using them as a compass to guide your decisions. Consider setting aside time each month to reflect on your progress and reassess your goals. During these sessions, remind yourself of why you chose your current path. Visualize your long-term vision and how your current goals contribute to that vision. This practice can help anchor you when attractive alternatives arise, giving you a stable reference point from which to evaluate new opportunities. Remember, the goal isn't to never change course or consider new options. Life is dynamic, and our goals should evolve as we grow and learn. The key is to ensure that when we do make changes, they're thoughtful, aligned with our values, and truly beneficial to our long-term growth. As we conclude this exploration of the attractiveness of alternative pattern, it's important to recognize that new opportunities and alternatives are not inherently good or bad. They're simply part of the rich tapestry of choices that make up our life's journey. The challenge and the opportunity lies in how we respond to them. By understanding this pattern, developing tools to evaluate new opportunities, and regularly reconnecting with our long-term vision, we can navigate the allure of alternatives with greater wisdom and intention. We can remain open to new possibilities while staying true to our core goals and values. As you move forward, armed with this knowledge, you'll be better equipped to make choices that truly serve your long-term growth and fulfillment. But there's another force at play in our journey of personal development, one that can silently undermine our progress if we're not careful. It's a pattern that emerges when we push too hard, when our ambition outpaces our resources. What happens when our pursuit of multiple goals begins to deplete the very foundations that support our growth? The next chapter will uncover this subtle yet powerful dynamic, revealing a pattern that can either lead to burnout or teach us the art of sustainable achievement. Chapter 5: Tragedy of the Commons. Imagine a lush green meadow nestled in a valley, shared by several shepherds. Each shepherd grazes their flock on this common land, benefiting from its rich grass. The meadow thrives, and the shepherds prosper. But as time passes, some shepherds, seeing the success of their herds, decide to increase their flocks. They reason that adding a few more sheep will bring greater profit with minimal impact on the shared pasture. At first, this strategy seems to work. The ambitious shepherds see their wealth grow. Observing this success, others follow suit, each adding more sheep to their flocks. But as more and more sheep graze on the meadow, something begins to change. The once lush grass becomes sparse, struggling to regrow fast enough to feed the ever-increasing number of sheep. The soil, trampled by too many hooves, begins to erode. Slowly but surely, the verdant meadow that once supported all the shepherds starts to wither away. This parable illustrates a profound concept that extends far beyond pastoral settings. It touches on a fundamental challenge we all face in our pursuit of personal growth and achievement. But what does a meadow have to do with our goals and ambitions? In our lives, we too have shared resources, not a physical meadow, but equally vital assets like time, energy, and attention. These are the commons of our personal ecosystem. Just as the meadow nourishes the sheep, these resources fuel our pursuits and ambitions. And like the shepherds, we often find ourselves tempted to overcommit to certain goals, drawing heavily on these shared resources. Consider the story of Tom, a driven professional with a passion for personal development. Tom had set ambitious goals for himself to excel in his career, start a side business, get in the best shape of his life, learn a new language, and deepen his relationships with family and friends. Each of these goals was meaningful and had the potential to enrich his life significantly. Excited by the prospect of achieving all these objectives, Tom threw himself into pursuit of each goal with gusto. He worked long hours at his job, dedicating his evenings to his side business. He woke up early to hit the gym before work and used his commute time to practice his new language. Weekends were split between social engagements and more work on his various projects. Initially, Tom felt invincible. He was making progress on all fronts and riding high on the adrenaline of his busy schedule. But as weeks turned into months, something began to change. The energy that once seemed boundless started to wane. His productivity at work began to slip. Workouts became a chore rather than a source of vitality. His language learning plateaued, and he found himself too exhausted to fully engage in social situations. Tom had fallen into the trap of the tragedy of the commons in his personal life. By overcommitting to multiple goals simultaneously, he was depleting his shared resources of time, energy, and attention faster than they could be replenished. Like the overgrazed meadow, Tom's personal resources were being stretched thin, threatening the sustainability of all his pursuits. This pattern is crucial to understand when managing competing goals because it highlights the importance of sustainable resource use. It's not just about setting ambitious goals. It's about ensuring that we can maintain progress across all our objectives without burning out. The tragedy occurs when we fail to recognize the limits of our shared resources and push beyond sustainable levels of commitment. The theory behind this pattern is rooted in the concept of finite resources. Just as a meadow has a limited capacity to produce grass, we have limits to our time, energy, and attention. When we overcommit, we're essentially borrowing from these resources at an unsustainable rate. The result is depletion, a state where we find ourselves unable to effectively pursue any of our goals because we've exhausted our fundamental resources. So how do we avoid this tragedy in our personal lives? The key lies in regular assessment and mindful allocation of our resources. This doesn't mean we should abandon ambitious goals or stop pushing ourselves. Rather, it's about becoming more aware of how we're distributing our limited resources and ensuring that we're doing so in a sustainable manner. One practical approach is to track your time and energy expenditure across different goals. This doesn't have to be a complex or time-consuming process. A simple journal where you note how you spend your time each day and your energy levels can be incredibly revealing. You might discover that certain activities drain your energy more than others, or that you're consistently overallocating time to one area at the expense of others. For instance, if Tom had engaged in this practice, he might have noticed that his late nights working on his side business were significantly impacting his energy levels at his day job. He could then make informed decisions about how to reallocate his time and energy for better overall results. Another crucial aspect of managing your personal commons is implementing resource replenishment strategies. Just as a meadow needs time to regrow grass, we need periods of rest and self-care to replenish our energy and attention. This might involve setting aside dedicated time for relaxation, engaging in activities that rejuvenate you, or simply ensuring you get enough sleep each night. These aren't indulgences or distractions from your goals. They're essential investments in your ability to pursue those goals sustainably. Think of them as fertilizer for your personal meadow, enhancing its ability to support your various pursuits. As you work on managing your personal commons, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply managing your resources effectively enough to prevent burnout. This means you're able to pursue your goals without completely depleting yourself, maintaining a basic level of sustainability. An excellent outcome is achieving a balance in resource allocation. In this scenario, you're not just avoiding burnout, but actively thriving. You're making progress across all your goals while maintaining high energy levels and a sense of well-being. You found a way to distribute your time and energy that allows for consistent growth without overextension. The best possible outcome is creating a self-sustaining cycle of resource use and replenishment. This is where the magic happens, when you've structured your pursuits in a way that they actually energize and support each other. For example, your fitness routine might boost your energy for work, which in turn provides resources for your side business, which fulfills you creatively and enhances your overall life satisfaction. Of course, managing your personal commons isn't without its challenges. The most common pitfall is resource depletion due to overcommitment. This often happens gradually, with small increases in commitments over time, eventually leading to a tipping point where we find ourselves overwhelmed and exhausted. The solution to this issue lies in setting clear limits and prioritizing rest and recovery. This might mean learning to say no to new commitments, even if they seem appealing. It could involve setting boundaries around your time, like establishing a firm no work after 8 p.m. rule. It definitely includes making rest and self-care non-negotiable parts of your routine, rather than afterthoughts or luxuries. Remember, the goal isn't to limit your ambitions or stop pursuing multiple objectives. It's about finding a sustainable way to chase your dreams without depleting the very resources that fuel your journey. By understanding and respecting the limits of your personal commons, you can actually achieve more in the long run. As we conclude this exploration of the tragedy of the commons in personal development, it's important to recognize that this isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's about creating a lifestyle that allows for sustained growth and fulfillment across all areas of your life. By mindfully managing your shared resources, you're not just preserving your ability to pursue your goals, you're enhancing it. Moving forward with this understanding, you'll be better equipped to pursue your ambitions in a way that's not just effective, but sustainable and fulfilling. You'll learn to see rest not as a barrier to achievement, but as an essential component of long-term success. But as we master the art of sustainable resource management, we encounter a new challenge. What happens when our carefully balanced pursuits begin to interact in unexpected ways? When the pursuit of one goal starts to intensify our commitment to another, creating a spiral of escalating demands. The next chapter will delve into this intriguing dynamic, exploring a pattern that can either drive us to new heights of achievement or lead us into a whirlpool of unsustainable competition with ourselves. Chapter 6: Escalation. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads with two paths stretching out before you. One leads to the peak of your career, representing professional success and achievement. The other winds towards personal fulfillment, symbolizing relationships, health, and personal passions. You've set your sights on reaching both destinations, believing they're equally important for your overall life satisfaction. With determination, you begin your journey, alternating your focus between the two paths. But something unexpected happens. As you make progress on your career path, perhaps landing a promotion or completing a big project, you feel a sudden urgency to make equal strides in your personal life. You throw yourself into intensive workout routines, schedule more social engagements, or take on a new hobby with fervor. Then, feeling the personal side of your life is flourishing, you feel compelled to redouble your efforts at work, taking on extra responsibilities or pursuing further qualifications. This back and forth intensifies, each advance on one path seeming to demand a matching effort on the other. Your pace of life quickens, your energy depletes, and soon you find yourself in a frantic race against yourself, trying to excel in all areas at an ever-increasing speed. This scenario illustrates a subtle yet powerful dynamic that often emerges when we pursue multiple goals simultaneously. It's a pattern that can sneak up on us, transforming our pursuit of personal growth from a fulfilling journey into a stress-filled race. But what exactly is driving this escalating cycle, and why does it matter so much in our quest to manage competing goals? Let's consider the story of Emma, a young professional with ambitious plans for her future. Emma had set two primary goals for herself: to advance in her career and to improve her physical fitness. Initially, these goals seemed complementary. She reasoned that better health would boost her energy and productivity at work, while career success would provide the resources and confidence to support her fitness journey. Emma threw herself into both pursuits with enthusiasm. She started waking up earlier to fit in morning workouts before heading to the office. At work, she volunteered for additional projects and stayed late to impress her superiors. As she began to see results in both areas, praise from her boss and noticeable improvements in her fitness, Emma felt motivated to push even harder. But as weeks passed, something began to shift. When Emma received a promotion at work, she felt compelled to increase her efforts at the gym, not wanting her fitness goals to fall behind her career progress. When she achieved a personal best in her workout routine, she felt pressure to match that success at work by taking on even more responsibilities. What started as two separate complementary goals had evolved into a cycle of escalating demands. Each success in one area fueled a drive to achieve more in the other, creating a self-perpetuating loop of increasing effort and stress. Emma found herself caught in a whirlwind of her own making, constantly pushing to outdo herself on both fronts. This pattern of escalation is crucial to understand when managing competing goals because it can sneakily transform our pursuits from sources of fulfillment into wellsprings of stress and burnout. It's a pattern that often begins with the best intentions, a desire to achieve and grow in multiple areas of life. However, left unchecked, it can lead to a state of constant pressure and diminishing returns, where the joy of achievement is overshadowed by the relentless drive to do more. The theory behind this pattern is rooted in the psychology of competition and achievement. When we set multiple goals, they can start to compete not just for our time and resources, but also for our sense of accomplishment. Success in one area can make us feel like we're falling behind in others, triggering a compensatory increase in effort. This creates a feedback loop where progress in each goal area drives escalated efforts in the others. Moreover, as we achieve success, our standards for what constitutes success often rise. What once felt like a significant accomplishment now becomes the new baseline, pushing us to strive for even more. When this occurs across multiple goal areas simultaneously, it can create a perfect storm of escalating demands. So how do we navigate this challenge? The key lies in learning to identify areas where competition between goals is leading to increased stress, and then taking proactive steps to manage this escalation. One practical approach is to regularly assess your stress levels in relation to your various goals. Are there areas where you feel a constant pressure to keep up with progress in other domains? Do you find yourself unable to enjoy achievements in one area because you're immediately focused on matching that success elsewhere? These can be signs that you're caught in an escalation cycle. For instance, if Emma had engaged in this kind of self-reflection, she might have noticed that her career advancement was creating undue pressure on her fitness goals and vice versa. This awareness is the first step in breaking the cycle of escalation. Once you've identified areas of escalation, it's crucial to implement stress reduction techniques. This isn't about lowering your ambitions, but about creating a more sustainable and enjoyable approach to achieving them. Practices like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, or even simple activities like taking a walk in nature can help reduce the stress associated with goal pursuit and provide perspective. Another powerful tool is setting clear boundaries to prevent overcommitment. This might involve defining specific times for working on different goals and sticking to those limits, even when you feel the urge to do more. It could also mean setting realistic, incremental targets for each goal area, rather than constantly pushing for dramatic improvements across the board. For Emma, this might have meant deciding that career advancement and fitness were both important, but didn't need to progress at the same rapid pace. She could set specific work hours and gym times, allowing herself to focus fully on each goal during its allotted time without feeling pressured to constantly escalate her efforts. As you work on managing escalation in your goal pursuit, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply controlling the escalation, reducing the stress associated with your multiple goals. This means you're able to pursue your objectives without feeling constantly pressured to outdo yourself in every area. An excellent outcome is aligning your competing goals for cooperative efforts. In this scenario, you find ways for your various pursuits to support each other rather than compete. For example, Emma might have found ways for her fitness routine to enhance her work performance through increased energy and stress reduction, rather than seeing them as separate races to be won. The best possible outcome is creating a harmonious environment where all goals contribute to each other's success. This is where the magic happens, when you've structured your pursuits in a way that progress in one area naturally and effortlessly supports progress in others. In this state, the pursuit of multiple goals becomes a source of synergy and fulfillment rather than stress and competition. Of course, managing escalation isn't without its challenges. The most common pitfall is allowing escalation to continue unchecked until it leads to burnout or diminishing returns in all areas. This often happens because the escalation can feel productive and driven in the short term, masking the long-term unsustainability of the pattern. The solution to this issue lies in implementing regular stress management practices and check-ins. This might involve scheduling weekly reflection times to assess your progress and stress levels across all goal areas. It could include practicing saying no to additional commitments that might fuel further escalation. It definitely involves learning to celebrate achievements in each area without immediately raising the bar. Remember, the aim isn't to stop pursuing multiple goals or to lower your ambitions. It's about finding a way to chase your dreams that's sustainable, fulfilling, and balanced. By understanding and managing the tendency towards escalation, you can pursue your goals with passion and determination without falling into the trap of endless, stressful competition with yourself. As we conclude this exploration of escalation in goal pursuit, it's important to recognize that this pattern, when properly understood and managed, can actually be harnessed as a powerful force for growth. The key is in directing that energy of escalation towards creating harmony and synergy among your goals, rather than competition and stress. But as we master the art of managing escalation, we encounter a new dimension of challenge in our goal pursuit journey. What happens when the choices we've made in the past begin to shape and constrain our options for the future? How do our previous decisions influence the paths available to us now, and how can we navigate this complex interplay of past and present? The next chapter will delve into this fascinating aspect of goal management, exploring a pattern that can either limit our growth or provide a strong foundation for future success. Chapter 7: Path Dependence. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest. As you move forward, you naturally follow the clearest path, the one with the least resistance. With each step, the path becomes more defined, easier to traverse. Before long, you find yourself on a well-worn trail, moving swiftly and confidently. But what if you suddenly realize this path isn't leading you to your desired destination? You look around, considering veering off into the untamed wilderness, but the thought of leaving this comfortable, familiar route feels daunting. The path you've been following has become so established that changing course seems almost impossible. This scenario illustrates a profound concept that shapes our journey through life and our pursuit of goals. It's a pattern that silently influences our decisions, often without our conscious awareness. But what exactly is this force that seems to bind us to our chosen paths, and why is it so crucial to understand when managing our competing goals? Let's consider the story of David, a software engineer in his mid-30s. David had always been passionate about technology, and from a young age he'd thrown himself into learning programming languages and building computers. His natural aptitude and dedication led him to excel in his studies and land a prestigious job at a leading tech company right out of college. For years, David's career progressed steadily. He climbed the corporate ladder, earning promotions and accolades for his technical skills. His identity became deeply intertwined with his role as a top-tier software engineer. However, as he approached his mid-30s, David began to feel a growing sense of dissatisfaction. He found himself dreaming of a career that allowed for more creativity and human interaction, perhaps in design or marketing. But every time David considered making a change, he felt stuck. His entire educational background, work experience, and professional network were all centered around software engineering. The thought of starting over in a new field seemed not just daunting, but almost impossible. His past decisions, choosing a computer science major, accepting that first tech job, specializing in certain programming languages, had created a path that now seemed to dictate his future options. This phenomenon that David is experiencing is what we call path dependence. It's a concept that explains how the decisions we make early on can shape and constrain our future choices. In essence, path dependence means that our past decisions heavily influence our current actions and future possibilities. Understanding path dependence is crucial when managing competing goals because it helps us recognize how our past choices might be influencing our current priorities, sometimes in ways that no longer serve our evolving aspirations. It allows us to identify paths that may have once been beneficial but are now limiting our growth or preventing us from pursuing new goals. The theory behind path dependence is rooted in the idea of increasing returns. As we invest time, energy, and resources into a particular path, it becomes more efficient and comfortable to continue along that same route. We develop skills, build networks, and create systems that all reinforce our chosen direction. This can be highly beneficial when our current path aligns with our goals. However, it can become a significant obstacle when our aspirations change or when we realize we need to pivot to achieve a better balance among competing objectives. So how do we navigate this challenge? The key lies in conscious reflection and intentional action. We need to regularly step back and examine how our past decisions are shaping our current priorities and options. One practical approach is to conduct what we might call a path audit. This involves taking a deep look at your current situation and tracing back the decisions that led you here. What choices did you make that set you on your current path? How are those past decisions influencing your present options and priorities? Are there assumptions or habits you've developed along the way that might be limiting your ability to pursue new goals? For instance, if David had conducted such an audit, he might have realized that while his background in software engineering provided valuable skills and experience, it didn't have to define his entire future. He could identify transferable skills, problem solving, logical thinking, project management, that could be applied in other fields. He might also recognize self-imposed limitations, like the belief that he was too old to start a new career path, that were more about perception than reality. Another crucial step is developing strategies for intentional course correction. This doesn't necessarily mean abandoning everything you've built so far. Instead, it's about finding ways to leverage your existing path while gradually steering towards new directions that align better with your current goals. This might involve seeking out projects or responsibilities in your current role that align more closely with your new interests. It could mean investing time in learning new skills or building networks in your desired field. The key is to start making small, deliberate choices that slowly alter your path towards your new objectives. For David, this could mean volunteering for projects that involve more design or user experience work within his current tech role. He might start taking evening classes in marketing or design, or seek out mentors in these fields. Over time, these small steps could open up new opportunities that align better with his evolving career goals. As you work on managing path dependence in your goal pursuit, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply becoming aware of how past influences are shaping your current goals and options. This awareness alone can be empowering, as it allows you to make more conscious choices moving forward. An excellent outcome is successfully shifting your path to align better with your long-term goals. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of reorienting your direction through consistent, intentional choices. It's about finding a balance between leveraging your existing strengths and experiences while opening up new possibilities that align with your evolving aspirations. The best possible outcome is developing the ability to make proactive, strategic decisions that enhance your overall growth and goal achievement. This is where you're not just reacting to path dependence, but actively shaping your path in a way that supports your multiple, sometimes competing objectives. You become adept at recognizing when to stay the course and when to pivot, always with an eye towards your broader life goals. Of course, managing path dependence isn't without its challenges. The most common pitfall is remaining stuck in an unsuitable path due to the perceived costs of change or the comfort of familiarity. This can lead to a sense of frustration and unfulfillment as you find yourself unable to pursue goals that have become important to you. The solution to this issue lies in regular reassessment and course adjustment. This means scheduling regular check-ins with yourself to evaluate whether your current path is still serving your goals. It involves being honest about what's working and what isn't, and being willing to make changes even when they feel uncomfortable or risky. Remember, the aim isn't to completely abandon your past or to make radical changes at every turn. It's about understanding how your past shapes your present and using that knowledge to make informed decisions about your future. By understanding and managing path dependence, you can honor your past experiences while still remaining flexible and open to new possibilities. As we conclude this exploration of path dependence, it's important to recognize that our past decisions don't have to be limitations. When properly understood and managed, they can become valuable assets in our journey towards our goals. The experiences, skills, and insights we've gained along our path, even if it's not perfectly aligned with our current objectives, can provide a rich foundation for future growth and achievement. But as we learn to navigate the influence of our past on our present goals, we encounter a new dimension of challenge in our personal growth journey. What happens when the results of our efforts aren't immediately visible? How do we maintain motivation and balance when progress seems slow or uncertain? The next chapter will delve into this crucial aspect of goal management, exploring a pattern that can either derail our efforts or teach us the power of patience and strategic thinking in our pursuit of success. Chapter 8. Balancing Process with Delay. Imagine you're tending a garden. You've carefully selected a variety of seeds, each representing a different goal or aspiration. With enthusiasm, you plant these seeds in rich soil, water them diligently, and wait for the first signs of growth. Days pass, then weeks, but the soil remains stubbornly bare. You begin to wonder if you've done something wrong. Should you water more? Less? Did you plant too deep? As doubt creeps in, you're tempted to dig up the seeds to check on their progress, or perhaps abandon this plot altogether and start anew elsewhere. This scenario illustrates a challenge that we all face in our pursuit of personal growth and achievement. It's a pattern that tests our patience, challenges our faith in our chosen path, and often leads to frustration or hasty decisions. But what exactly is this force that seems to stand between our efforts and the results we desire? And why is it so crucial to understand when managing our competing goals? Let's consider the story of Sophia, a recent college graduate with big dreams. Sophia had set several ambitious goals for herself: to launch a successful startup, to get in the best shape of her life, to learn a new language, and to cultivate meaningful relationships. Full of energy and optimism, she dove into each of these pursuits with gusto. For the first few weeks, Sophia felt like she was making great strides. She was working long hours on her business plan, hitting the gym regularly, practicing her new language daily, and making an effort to connect with friends and potential partners. However, as time passed, she began to feel a growing sense of frustration. Her business wasn't taking off as quickly as she'd hoped. Despite her consistent workouts, she wasn't seeing the dramatic physical changes she'd expected. Her language skills were improving, but at a pace that felt painfully slow. Even in her relationships, the deep connections she yearned for seemed to be taking longer to develop than she'd anticipated. Sophia found herself caught in a whirlwind of impatience and self-doubt. She began to question her approaches, wondering if she should be doing more or doing things differently. The lack of immediate, visible progress in her various goals left her feeling discouraged and tempted to either redouble her efforts to the point of burnout or to abandon some of her pursuits altogether. What Sophia was experiencing is a fundamental aspect of goal pursuit that we call delay. It's the gap between our actions and the visible results of those actions. Understanding and managing this delay is crucial when juggling multiple goals because it helps us maintain patience and strategic balance during periods when progress seems slow or invisible. The theory behind this concept is rooted in the idea that delays are a natural and necessary part of any balancing process. In systems thinking, we recognize that most significant changes don't happen instantaneously. There's often a lag time between our inputs, our efforts and actions, and the outputs, the visible results. This delay can occur for various reasons: the time it takes for skills to develop, for habits to form, for networks to grow, or simply for the cumulative effect of consistent effort to become noticeable. Understanding this principle is vital because it helps us avoid two common pitfalls in goal pursuit: premature abandonment of our goals when we don't see immediate results, and overcompensation that can lead to burnout or imbalance among our various objectives. So how do we navigate this challenge? The key lies in identifying areas where delays are causing frustration and then reassessing our expectations. This doesn't mean lowering our ambitions, but rather adjusting our timeline and our metrics for progress. One practical approach is to develop strategies to maintain motivation during periods of slow or invisible progress. This might involve breaking down larger goals into smaller, more immediately achievable milestones. For instance, instead of focusing solely on the end goal of launching a successful startup, Sophia could celebrate smaller wins like completing her business plan, making her first pitch, or securing her first client. Another powerful technique is to use delay time to strengthen other areas of life. When progress seems slow in one area, it's an opportunity to channel energy into other goals. This not only helps maintain overall momentum, but can also lead to unexpected synergies between different objectives. For example, during the slow initial growth phase of her startup, Sophia could focus more intensely on her language learning or fitness goals. The progress in these areas could boost her confidence and provide mental refreshment, indirectly supporting her entrepreneurial efforts. Similarly, the discipline and perseverance she develops through consistent language study could enhance her ability to stick with her business plans during challenging times. As you work on managing delays in your goal pursuit, you'll likely encounter various outcomes. A good outcome is simply recognizing and accepting delays as a natural part of the process. This acceptance can significantly reduce stress and prevent hasty decisions that might derail your long-term progress. An excellent outcome is learning to use delays strategically to build strength in other areas. This is where you start to see your various goals not as competing forces, but as complementary elements of your overall growth. You become adept at shifting focus and energy among your different objectives, using periods of delay in one area as opportunities for progress in others. The best possible outcome is achieving a state of equilibrium among your goals despite the presence of delays. In this ideal scenario, you've developed the patience and strategic thinking to maintain steady progress across all your objectives, undeterred by temporary lack of visible results in any one area. You understand the rhythms of progress in each of your pursuits and can navigate the ebbs and flows with confidence and grace. Of course, managing delays isn't without its challenges. The most common issues are frustration and impatience, which can lead to poor decision-making or abandonment of worthwhile goals. When we don't see immediate results, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking our efforts are futile or that we're on the wrong path. The solution to these issues lies in cultivating patience and improving our strategic planning skills. This involves developing a longer-term perspective on our goals and learning to recognize and appreciate the small, often invisible signs of progress that precede more dramatic, visible changes. One effective way to build patience is through mindfulness practices. Regular meditation or reflection can help us become more comfortable with the present moment, reducing our anxious fixation on future results. It can also enhance our ability to notice and appreciate subtle signs of progress that we might otherwise overlook. Improving strategic planning involves setting realistic timelines for our goals based on a clear understanding of the processes involved. This might mean doing research on typical progression rates in the areas we're pursuing, or seeking advice from mentors who have walked similar paths. By setting more informed expectations, we can reduce the frustration that comes from unrealistic timelines. Remember, the aim isn't to eliminate all sense of urgency or desire for progress. It's about finding a balance between ambitious striving and patient persistence. By understanding and managing delays, we can pursue our multiple goals with greater resilience and wisdom, avoiding the twin pitfalls of premature abandonment and burnout. As we conclude this exploration of balancing process with delay, it's important to recognize that delays, when properly understood and managed, can actually become powerful allies in our personal growth journey. They provide us with opportunities for reflection, for refining our strategies, and for developing the mental toughness and patience that are crucial for long-term success. But as we master the art of navigating delays and maintaining balance among our competing goals, we find ourselves at the threshold of a new challenge. How do we take all these insights, all these strategies for managing the complex dynamics of multiple objectives, and weave them into a cohesive, personalized approach to achieving our dreams? The next chapter will guide you through the process of synthesizing everything you've learned, helping you craft a unique blueprint for your own personal growth journey. Are you ready to bring all the pieces together and create a master plan for juggling your goals with grace and effectiveness? Chapter 9. Crafting your personal growth blueprint. As we reach the final chapter of our journey together, it's time to weave the threads of insight we've gathered into a tapestry of personal growth. You've explored the intricacies of competing goals, the allure of alternatives, the tragedy of depleted resources, the spiral of escalation, the influence of past decisions, and the patience required to navigate delays. Now, it's time to synthesize these lessons into a cohesive strategy that will empower you to juggle your goals with grace and purpose. Imagine standing at the helm of a ship, navigating through the vast ocean of life. The various goals you pursue are like different destinations on your map. The insights you've gained from this book are your navigational tools: the compass, the sextant, the charts that will guide you on your journey. But a captain doesn't just rely on individual tools. They integrate all this information to chart a course that's both ambitious and achievable. This is the essence of crafting your personal growth blueprint. It's about taking the systems thinking approach we've explored and applying it holistically to your life. It's not just about managing individual goals, but about creating a harmonious ecosystem where your various aspirations support and enhance each other. So, how can what you've learned empower you? First and foremost, you now have a comprehensive toolkit for understanding the complex dynamics of pursuing multiple goals. You can recognize when your goals are competing for resources, when you're being lured by attractive alternatives, or when you're caught in an escalation spiral. This awareness alone is a superpower. It allows you to step back from the immediate pressures and see the bigger picture of your personal growth journey. But awareness is just the beginning. You're now equipped with strategies to address these challenges. You know how to conduct a resource audit to prevent burnout, how to evaluate new opportunities in the context of your long-term vision, and how to de-escalate when competition between goals becomes counterproductive. You understand the importance of patience in the face of delays and how to leverage your past experiences even as you chart new courses. This systems thinking approach doesn't just apply to your personal goals. It can dramatically improve your relationships as well. By understanding the interconnected nature of different aspects of your life, you can communicate more effectively with partners, friends, and colleagues. You can explain your priorities and constraints more clearly, and you're better equipped to understand and empathize with the competing demands others face. For instance, when negotiating work-life balance with a partner, you can draw on your understanding of resource allocation and competing goals to find solutions that work for both of you. In professional settings, you can use your insights into path dependence and the attractiveness of alternatives to have more nuanced discussions about career development and project management. But perhaps the most exciting aspect of this blueprint is what it enables you to achieve. You're now poised to harmonize your competing goals in a way that leads to balanced, sustainable growth across all areas of your life. This isn't about achieving perfection or never facing challenges. It's about having the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of life with greater skill and confidence. You can pursue career advancement while also nurturing your personal relationships. You can work towards financial stability without sacrificing your health or personal passions. You can embrace new opportunities without losing sight of your core values and long-term vision. This holistic approach to personal growth allows you to make progress on multiple fronts simultaneously, creating a rich, fulfilling life that aligns with your deepest aspirations. As you continue to practice the concepts from this book, you'll find that managing your goals becomes easier and more intuitive over time. It's like developing any skill. At first, it requires conscious effort and frequent reflection. But as you internalize these principles, they become second nature. You'll start to automatically consider resource allocation when taking on new commitments. You'll instinctively evaluate new opportunities in the context of your broader goals. You'll naturally pace yourself for the long haul, understanding the role of delays in the growth process. This doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or make mistakes, but it does mean that you'll become increasingly adept at navigating these challenges with less stress and greater effectiveness. You'll develop a resilience that allows you to bounce back from setbacks more quickly and learn from every experience. Moreover, as you apply these principles consistently, you'll start to see compound effects. Just as compound interest can dramatically grow financial investments over time, the compound effect of balanced, strategic goal pursuit can lead to exponential personal growth. Small, consistent efforts across multiple areas of your life will build upon each other, creating momentum that propels you forward with increasing speed. The true power of this personal growth blueprint lies in its adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and your goals and circumstances will inevitably change over time. But the principles you've learned are flexible enough to apply to any situation. Whether you're a student planning your academic and career path, a professional juggling work and family responsibilities, or a retiree embarking on a new chapter of life, these tools will serve you well. As we conclude this book, I want to leave you with a vision of what's possible when you fully embrace this systems thinking approach to personal growth. Imagine waking up each day with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that your various goals are working in harmony rather than conflict. Picture yourself navigating life's challenges with confidence, armed with the tools to understand and manage complex situations. Envision a future where you're making steady progress across all areas of your life, feeling fulfilled and balanced rather than stressed and overwhelmed. This isn't just a dream, it's achievable reality. By crafting and continually refining your personal growth blueprint, you're setting yourself on a path to extraordinary achievement and deep personal satisfaction. You're not just juggling goals, you're orchestrating a symphony of personal growth where each element enhances the others to create something truly beautiful. Remember, this book is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a new, more empowered chapter in your life. The insights and strategies you've gained are your foundation. Now it's time to build. Embrace the process, trust in your ability to grow and adapt, and step forward with confidence. Your personal growth blueprint is a living document, one that will evolve with you as you continue to learn, grow, and achieve. As you close this book and look to the future, know that you're now equipped to turn your multiple competing goals into a cohesive force for positive change in your life. The art of juggling goals is now yours to master. But these systems archetypes are just the beginning of your journey. As you apply these skills, you'll encounter new challenges that require even deeper analysis. How can you ensure your insights lead to meaningful change? The answer lies in bridging the gap between knowledge and action. To truly master this crucial skill and unlock your full potential, you need to explore the audiobook From Insight to Action: Practical Critical Thinking Techniques. This essential guide will transform how you approach decision-making and problem-solving, propelling you towards extraordinary real-world results. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.